Then we were processed, filed, put in gray jumpsuits, and then I slept upstairs in a room here with my grandfather. The next morning, I was sitting on a couch downstairs in what was like a living room, and I was looking out some tall windows. And it always bothered me that there was a space between these 5 trees here, and because I'd count the trees, I had a photographic memory, and they didn't want you remembering anything. So if you'd like take any notations or observations about anything and speak them, they would just turn it right back around and tell you something totally different that made no sense, like 2 + 2 = 7 or something. So then I walked down this walkway here, and then I got in the black seat of this nice shiny black car, and to my left of this black car was this guy, an old man with thick black glasses and a black suit that looked like a Truman, like this was the real Truman Show. And for this instance here, they'd pick you up right here. They'd never pick some like ominous, mysterious X-Files smoking man or something like Skinner, who was a Nazi, by the way. But this character that would pick you up here, he was like more magical, more charming, like a spark in his eyes, and definitely an actor type character, more like a KFC type colonel or something. So then I'd sit on my grandpa's lap in here, and then this guy would be nice in the back, and then he would just switch. And then he'd pull a gun out of his pocket and tell you he was going to kill you if you remembered this place. So then he had some form of like a gas he'd blow at you, or a chemical substance, and you'd start spinning like in a spiral. And what he had in his car here was those old-fashioned Mattel toys, the CNCs, the farm toy, and then he'd spin it in a spiral here, and we'd do the farm animals, and he'd pull it with a string, and then you'd spin, go into a trance. After, he would read to you and sing together, Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So I remember laughing at him, and then everything spinning, and then my grandfather would catch me with his right hand on my chest right before you'd fall forward and you'd pass out. And I don't know how often they did this, but this was the initial stages. So then, they'd take you around the circle here, and then these 2 fuckers would sit here and stop and talk, and it was stupid of them to do that because you store everything in your reactive and your subconscious mind. You're still recording what's in your environment and surroundings. So over here you see this archway here. It was yellow, black, red, and orange. And it was like a candy cane pole, because there was this, it was just full of like this Tesla current, and you could hear it crackling and buzzing in these rods, and then you'd feel like this veil or membrane as you passed under here, and then you'd go over something here too that you'd feel a change in the environment, like a ley line or something. So then they do this game with you, and they drive you in a circle here before going under this arch, this gateless gate, and then this triangle here. This point was a triangle hedge bush. I don't know what it was. It was like we thought it was a cliff. We were trying to climb on it. It was like moss. You'd sink in some spots. It made no sense, and it looked like a face here that would like eat you. So you'd sink in spots, and you'd scale the edges of it and play this game out there. And it was like a serpent would chase you around, the serpent energy out there. And it's like somebody disappeared in it or something, or it wasn't more like a Kundalini energy we were manifesting, but something like way more ancient, and they called it the game of Apophis or something, because my brother would be doing this, and you'd feel the plasma and the buoyancy here, and I think they just were seeing how we would react to this. And you can see there's a silver plate here, another one here, like 2 eyes, and then a silver plate here, and you can see the serpent energy that's wrapped its way around here and is winding over here. So it's like it would chase us around this triangle, and then we always thought that there was like a trapdoor or something that would go into the underground, but it became very frightening, actually, this game, what we manifested. So they actually got really mad at us and would yell at us, and you couldn't run around it anymore, because at first they wanted you to see what you could do, but I think we did a little too much there, and we were a little too ancient for them. Anyways, back up at this arch point here. Before you'd pass underneath it, it was installed this old McDonald farm program. So it was just a surreal dream. You know, you'd see the trees blur out here a little bit at the end of our driveway. And I say the end of our driveway because it was like a cult, this whole thing. This compound of creepy-ass scientific old skull and bones men in black glasses and suits that were in this building here.